Curl up, hit play, let the pages unwind. Spice on our tongues, all the trouble we find. We're kissing and killing in kingdoms we crave, falling for monsters we swear we'll never say. We're the Scribe of HRI, reading too late, but we're still gonna dive into blades and beds and bargains at night. If he's morally gray, then he's probably right. Scribe of HRI, turn up the heat, let the dragons fly. Fantasy, slow, and the dark in his eyes. Yeah, we read it all and we never apologize. Curses and crowns, all the vows that they break. We're raiding the ruin, every risk that they take. Laugh through the trauma, then gasp at the twist. Highlighting lines that our mothers would blacklist. Scribers of HRI, reading too late, but we're still gonna dive into blades and beds and bargains at night. If he's morally gray, then he's probably right. Scribe wives of HRI, turn up the heat, let the dragons fly. Fantasy, slow, and the dark in his eyes. Yeah, we read it all and we never apologize. Open the book, pour the tea, pour the wine. Scribe wives of HRI. It's gonna be a wild time. Hey! Curl up, hit play, let the pages unwind. Spice on our tongues, all the trouble we find. We're kissing and killing in kingdoms we crave, falling for monsters we swear we'll never say. We're the Scribes of HRI, reading too late, but we're still gonna dive into blades and beds and bargains at night. If he's morally gray, then he's probably right. Scribes of HRI, turn up the heat, let the dragons fly. Fantasy, slow, and the dark in his eyes. Yeah, we read it all and we never apologize. Curses and crowns, all the vows that they break. We're raiding the ruin, every risk that they take. Laugh through the trauma, then gasp at the twist. Highlighting lines that our mothers would blacklist. Scribers of HRI, reading too late, but we're still gonna dive into blades and beds and bargains at night. If he's morally gray, then he's probably right. Scribes Curl up, hit play, let the pages unwind. Spice on our tongues all the trouble we find. We're kissing and killing in kingdoms we crave, falling for monsters we swear we'll never say. We're the scribe of HRI, reading too late but we're still gonna dive into blades and beds and bargains at night. If he's morally gray then he's probably right. Scribe of HRI, turn up the heat, let the dragons fly. Fantasy smile and the dark in his eyes. Yeah, we read it all and we never apologize. Curses and crowns, all the vows that they break. We're raiding the ruin, every risk that they take. Life through the trauma, then gasp at the twist. Highlighting lines that our mothers would blacklist. Scribes of HRI, reading too late but we're still gonna dive into blades and beds and bargains at night. If he's morally gray then he's probably right. Scribe lives of HRI, turn up the heat, let the dragons fly. Fantasy loud and the dark in his eyes. Yeah, we read it all and we never apologize. Open the book, pour the tea, pour the wine. Scribe wives of HRI, it's gonna be a wild time. Hey! Curl up, hit play, let the pages unwind. Spice on our tongues, all the trouble we find. We're kissing and killing in kingdoms we crave, falling for monsters we swear we'll never say. We're the scribes of HRI, reading too late but we're still gonna dive into blades and beds and bargains at night. If he's morally gray then he's probably right. Scribes of HRI, turn up the heat, let the dragons fly. Fantasy loud and the dark in his eyes. Yeah, we read it all and we never apologize. Curses and crowns, all the vows that they break. We're raiding the ruin, every risk that they take. Life through the trauma, then gasp at the twist. Highlighting lines that our mothers would blacklist. Scribes of HRI, reading too late but we're still gonna dive into blades and beds and bargains at night. If he's morally gray then he's probably right. Scribe lives of HRI, turn up the heat, let the dragons fly. Fantasy loud and the dark in his eyes. Yeah, we read it all and we never apologize. Open the book, pour the tea, pour the wine. Scribe wives of HRI, it's gonna be a wild time. Hey! Curl up, hit play, let the pages unwind. Spice on our tongues, all the trouble we find. We're kissing and killing in kingdoms we crave, falling for monsters we swear we'll never say. We're the scribe of HRI, reading too late, but we're still gonna dive into blades and beds and bargains at night. If he's morally gray, then he's probably right. Scribe of HRI, turn up the heat, let the dragons fly. Fantasy, smile, and the dark in his eyes. Yeah, we read it all and we never apologize. Curses and crowns, all the vows that they break. We're raiding the ruin, every risk that they take. Laugh through the trauma, then gasp at the twist. Highlighting lines that our mothers would blacklist. Scribe of HRI, reading too late, but we're still gonna dive into blades and beds and bargains at night. If he's morally gray, then he's probably right. Scribe of HRI, turn up the heat, let the dragons fly. Fantasy, smile, and the dark in his eyes. Yeah, we read it all and we never apologize. Open the book, pour the tea, pour the wine. Scribe wives of HRI. It's gonna be a wild time. Hey! Curl up, hit play, let the pages unwind. Spice on our tongues, all the trouble we find. We're kissing and killing in kingdoms we crave, falling for monsters we swear we'll never say. We're the scribe of HRI, reading too late, but we're still gonna dive into blades and beds and bargains at night. If he's morally gray, then he's probably right. Scribe of HRI, turn up the heat, let the dragons fly. Fantasy, smile, and the dark in his eyes. Yeah, we read it all and we never apologize. Curses and crowns, all the vows that they break. We're raiding the ruin, every risk that they take. Laugh through the trauma, then gasp at the twist. Highlighting lines that our mothers would blacklist. Scribe of HRI, reading too late, but we're still gonna dive into blades and beds and bargains at night. If he's morally gray, then he's probably right. Scribe of HRI, turn up the heat, let the dragons fly. Fantasy, smile, and the dark in his eyes. Yeah, we read it all and we never apologize. Open the book, pour the tea, pour the wine. Scribe wives of HRI. It's gonna be a wild time. Hey!
I'm here.
My mic was not turned on. Look at that. I'm glad we did that.
I double checked the
What?
audio because I didn't have Twitch actually muted, like the site not muted, so I heard a lot of going back and forth between the two of us.
Gosh. Well, welcome in, everybody. We are on episode 8, 2 away from double digits. That's pretty exciting. Um, Feels like we should already be there, but we're also 3 working moms and wives, and life is chaotic, and we're not as on top of it as our husbands seem to be with theirs. So they're winning,
True.
but we're also winning because our TikTok's better than theirs.
They don't have a TBR.
They don't have a TBR.
No, they do not. They also, you know, they started in December. We started like in February.
It's true. That's true. So, welcome in everybody to episode 8. We are switching things up a bit. We are now going to be doing After Dark podcasts. If you have seen our podcast before, you know that we talk about a lot of dark romance, a lot of just dark topics in general, and evening hours tend to work best for us. So, our look is going to be different. We will reflect that moving forward on all of our streaming sites. So yeah, let's kick it off. Today we're doing individual reads. But before we get started, Kat, what are you reading right now?
Right now, I'm reading Losers Part 1.
Losers Part 1 on a scale of 1 to 5. How are you feeling about it?
It's about a 4. It's been kind of slow, but I've kind of gotten into the whole she's bouncing between the 4 men right now, so it's definitely picking up.
And I have to ask, who's your favorite MMC right now?
I would have to say Vincent right now because I haven't seen much of like Manson. Lucas is kind of
Okay.
showing up a little bit, but it's Vincent right now. Just the whole like hood of the car with the candle.
Yes. Linz, who is your favorite MMC from the Losers?
Oh, it's definitely Manson all the
Definitely
way.
Manson, 100%
He
Manson.
stole it entirely.
Yeah, she'll get there.
Haven't
Don't
gotten
worry,
there
she'll
yet.
get there.
That's why I haven't gotten there yet. It probably
But
will
she also
change.
didn't read the dare, so she didn't get it's not, you didn't really miss out much. It's just a little bit more zestiness added to the pizza pie of
I
spice.
did read the part where Manson's dad comes back and
Oh, yeah.
Vincent like went white and was just like
Yeah. Linz, what are you currently reading?
I am currently on the Bonds of Hercules, which is part 2 of a series that we will figure out in a little bit.
Okay, it's part 2. How would you rate it? 1 to 5? As if you go against the first one. Well, I guess I should ask, which one's better, the first one or the second one?
I'm gonna tell you right now, so far, the second one is actually better than the first, but I'm not quite done, so that could possibly change. And from the reviews I have seen, it's supposed to, and I'm slowly like lollygagging to get to that point. But it is great. I would probably give it like at least a solid 4. It is not super spicy, but it hits everything across the board that reading has to offer.
Okay, I do want to add in chat that Jibs told us that she wasn't going to finish reading this one because she could not get into it. She picked it back up and she is demolishing it. So
That raccoon man, it stole me. I right back
oh
in.
my gosh, ChatGPT was making me so mad. I was trying to get a cute little picture of Paco, and I was like, I can't do this. It's copyrighted. I'm like, it's a raccoon.
right, I don't understand it. But listen, speaking of ChatGPT not wanting to make images because I fought with this stupid thing enough today, ChatGPT would tell me that it could not create an image because it was against, like, it was too grotesque or violent or nudity. So my response back to ChatGPT would be, no, it isn't. Do it.
It was doing that for mine when I was trying to do like my little rebranding this morning to
Right.
just make it a little bit darker than what it was. It I kept needing like the overlays, and it was over here like, I can't do that. And I'm like, you did it the first time. I'm literally asking you to
Uh-huh.
just take my original overlays and make it match this color theme.
Yeah, and after
Like,
I told it, yeah, when I told it to just do it, it did it. Just
It
like,
obeyed.
you did it before. Just do it again. Stop being stupid.
Yes.
Um,
It's grumpy today.
it really is. It's also probably done with me trying to use it. But I am currently reading Black Knight, which is the book 4 in the Elite series of Rena Kent. I'm almost done, and I
But how
highly
do you feel
recommend
about
them.
that one in the series so far?
It's not my favorite, but I don't hate it. I really like the story behind Xander and Kimmy, um, and the struggles that Kimmy goes through are real. They're real struggles. There are things that she's gone through that I have gone through or I felt myself, and know people that have as well. So it kind of hits home. Um, so yeah, but I still want to get to book 6 so bad. And you'd think with how bad I want to
Yes.
get to book 6, I'd finish this one, but no, I haven't sat down to read it. So
It's hard when it's like a book like that. Like, I will admit that Losers I've had to like kind of go back to kind of go back to because it's just not gripping as much as I thought it would. And it could just be because it started out slow. And I was just like, I'm not sure about you doing this, working off this debt for 4 guys. But at the same time, I'm just like, you helped people break into their garage
yep,
and smash up these like yummy looking cars. So like, I would do the same to you. Like,
yeah,
I just have bipolar, so I'm a mood reader. So when my mood changes, the book changes, and I could go through about 2
that
moods to
might be
10.
what
It,
it
it just
is.
varies. It
Yeah, it
varies.
might be that
It's all at one time.
it's not the book that I am in the mood for, but now I'm like 300 pages in and I'm just like, I now I need to finish it.
I love that. It's good, and whenever you get to part 2, it's better. So,
I can't read part 2. I gotta start Akitar.
well, I would read part 2 first. Finish the Losers series before you move on to a series that has more books. Don't do
Yeah.
that. Don't do that to yourself, Kat. Finish it.
I mean, I can
You're
do the
gonna want to
Kindle.
finish it.
You're gonna want to finish it. 100%. 100%. I know we keep making your TBR list longer, but
So true.
listen to us this one time. Please, please finish the Losers before you move on.
I can do
You
that.
will not regret it. I promise.
Yes.
I can do that.
Okay, so today we are doing individual reads. So we are going to jump in to Lynn's and her individual read today. Do you want to
Yes,
start
ma'am.
with your trigger warnings?
Yeah, so believe it or not, to me, this book was actually really, really mild. But when you actually look at the trigger warnings and kind of think about what she went through, it is definitely worthy to go over those first. But compared to the other books we have, this is your toes are just in the water. You ain't even wet yet. But we have a lot of like her childhood, past experiences, violence and torture. There is a lot of like kind of like suicide ideations in her inner monologue, not so much like outspoken, but in the book, she totally lets you in on her lunatic thoughts the whole entire time. And she does not have a coherent thought usually, so it's really out there. But it's it, I do recommend it for like anybody, honestly. It's definitely an easy read to get through.
Okay, so talk to us about it.
All right, so it is the first book in this series is The Blood of Hercules. And I think there's actually supposed to be a good many more to this book. And they just released the second one. So we're just starting the series. But it is like a gender bent retelling with a massive twist on like the Roman and the Greek mythology. So they kind of just like fused it together in this book. It isn't like correct, I guess you would say, but she warns you of that for it. But what I love the most about it is kind of taking place like in a modern twisted version of this dystopian like Greek time. Like they take you back in time, but it's modern age, if that makes sense. Like the years like 2050 to 2099, but they still live like they would have done back in this culture for the time period. I do like that. I think that was really cool. Mm, I'm trying to think of where to go next because there's a lot of lore and I don't want to like throw it out there, but it kind of starts with this great war. And in the beginning of this great war, it I don't even know where that went. Hang on.
You're fine. You got this. We believe in you.
There's like 6 pages here. I don't use a computer. I use paper.
Well, who are your characters?
This book is a reverse harem, but in book 1 you're not going to get that or kind of understand that. There's only like 2 kind of main romantic interests. The other 2 hasn't fully hit the romantic interest aspect in book 1. So that would kind of leave you confused if I was only doing book 1 there. It's you have Alexis Hurt, who in this book is going to be Hercules. She is actually blind in one eye and deaf in one ear. And she just thinks she's a normal person. She has no idea what she is, where she comes from. She was raised in foster care. And then we have Augustus, who is like the son of the House of War. He is a professor at the Spartan War College that she eventually attends, and that's how they meet. Karen, who is basically the usher of death and a complete and absolute lunatic, but you're gonna love him. He is so demented, but he's great. He is also a professor at the War Academy. The best, I gotta let you in a little thing. Karen is the one who teaches Paco how to use finger guns. Paco's the raccoon that you will hear a lot about in just a little bit.
We definitely want
I
more
love
Paco.
Paco.
Yes. And in this book, she ends up with 2 mentors that kind of like train her and help her get ready for basically her Hercules task that she's got to defeat in this version of the book. But it is Achilles and Petra. Petro, you don't hear much from because he's actually like muzzled. He took a Spartan oath a long time ago, but they don't focus a whole lot on that. It's just he's really easy to pick out of a group in the crowd, and they're each very distinct looking from the others, which is amazing.
So, do you think that they'll have a book just for him, based off of you saying that you don't really get a lot of information on why he has that on?
See, I'm hoping I don't even know if book 2 finishes it off or where they're gonna leave it. Because with book 1, of course, they left it on a really big cliffhanger. So it could be anything, and she kinda throws some curveballs in there, so I have no idea how this could actually end before the next one comes out. But in the very beginning, kind of what puts the ball rolling, there is a prophecy, and it's uh, prophesied by an ancient deity named Fate, and she decreed that if the lost one is not chained to death soldiers, Titans will destroy the world. So apparently, the lost one is going to be our Alexis Hurt, since she kind of puzzles that later on at the very end of the book. I'm not fully sure what that prophecy entails. I haven't gotten there in book 2, and book 1 they just kind of glaze over that. And because of that decree, they put a mandatory marriage law that by the age of 26, all Spartans and Olympians have to marry, but they can't marry like the same kind. You have Olympians and Spartans. And that is where the Great War actually initiated for this. With Olympians and the chthonics, we have kind of two power sources in this book. The At one point they did live together and exist with humans. They were Olympians, chthonics, families all together and united for a short time. But at one point, the chthonic houses, and if I'm going to be exact, it's going to be Hades, Aphrodite, Artemis, and Ares. They decided to kind of unite and try to overthrow like the whole entire Central Spartan Federation. They wanted to claim all the power for themselves instead of like have it evenly distributed. Well, not everyone was on that side, and half of the houses, a little more than half actually, there was 8, and these are going to be your sky families, and these are going to be like your classic gods, like your Zeus, Hera, Athena, Hermes, Poseidon, and Demeter, Apollo, and Dionysus. They united to kind of stop the rebellion, but it this war has lasted an extremely long time, and there was massive casualties on both sides. Like they were on the verge of a complete societal collapse. So they kind of had to wave the white flag and decide, hey, we got to band together and we're going to have to go back and just make peace and merge the houses. And that's where you got the marriage law into aspect to make them mingle and kind of unite. And that is where we're going to get in. I did cover the Federation. Okay. Yeah. That is kind of where it leads into, but when we meet Alexis, she is just living like an average everyday life. Like she's just a human in school. They have knowledge of like the gods and the titans, but they don't exist with humans anymore at this point. They are completely separated on like a power scale outside of them. And she attends like her school where in order to graduate you have to take a blood test, and it'll tell you kind of like a little genetic about yourself, if you're like a creature, if you're a Spartan, an Olympian, anything like that. Well, her blood completely melted the paper in the middle of class, and she's like a complete outcast because everybody is thinking this girl, she lives in the woods pretty much, like by herself. She's that like outcasted from society entirely. They just think she's weird. She is, but it's because she talks to an invisible snake and she's not talking to herself.
Is it
But they
because
don't see
she's
it.
missing an eyeball? Is that why they think she's weird?
No, she actually has like the eye of Zeus, one of her eyes, because she finds out like a little bit of her lineage. I guess Zeus is her godfather somehow. Because in this book, Hades is actually her dad, and Zeus is like his dad. I don't know. It's weird as shit. Like they they really intermingle the shit, but it's fun how they do it, and I loved it. But about her, they don't explain a whole lot about her eye, and I think they do that because in the whole book, she doesn't want to be perceived as weak, so she never like showcases any weakness or lets anybody know, hey, I'm completely deaf in one ear or totally blind in one eye. She doesn't want anybody to ever find that out because they'll like use it against her or sentence her to death, basically. I mean, she's already competing for survival just for a chance to be granted actual like immortality and accepted to live amongst the power and the other gods. But when she takes her blood test and it actually shows that she is this Spartan blood lineage, she is immediately taken by Valkyrie to, I think it's Crete, is where it takes place in Rome. And she is thrown into the middle of this It's called the Crucible, but more or less like the 12 trials of Hercules for her is how they constructed this. It's basically a word college, but they're trying to weed out the weak through this process because you've got to be the top notch to enter. But in this society, because it is influenced heavily by ancient times, women are they are not worthy of anything. They're not respected. They hold no power, no value, or really anything. So, for there to be a female Spartan Chthonic entering the Crucible, it's extremely rare. So she's automatically targeted there. She's already got something on her back as like the smallest weakling. She's fragile. She's basically starved to death her whole childhood. So she's really
Goodness.
frail and not at peak physique at the beginning of the book when she first enters this. And when you enter this like competition, they assign you mentors, and that is where Achilles and Petro come into play here. She is assigned them like pre already by, I think it's Zeus, is who picks all the initiates mentors. She has the Crimson Duo, and that is what they are known as in their like fighting style. They're trying to fight for their own version of greatness, but that hinges on her succeeding the Crucible. So they are thinking, oh my God, this little girl's about to make us fail. She is pitiful. It, if you read the book, when you get to the parts of the inner dialogue and you're reading this, your first thought is doom. They are all doomed. She is going to die. This book won't be long. But once she meets her mentors, they are not kind to her at all. They think she is weak. They just think she's kind of a mutt from her house. They're not sure where she's from. Nobody knows anything about her. That is the little bit of info droppage I gave you there pre to all this. You find out later on. So nope, the other characters in the books, they just see her as this weak human in their area that shouldn't be there. So they think they're just screwed. But she turns out to be this little bamf who has no sense of like any part of survival in her. She Oh my goodness, like she solves math problems in her head when she's like charged for doom and they're coming at her with like razor blades and lemon juice all at one time and she does not know what to do. I really relate with that a lot. I don't ever know what to do when stuff's coming at me either, so it's very nice. She is extremely relatable. Like she's odd, but she's like a quirky odd in a sweet way and she doesn't mean harm, but she is absolutely deadly without any knowledge to what her powers are or what she can even do. She doesn't think she actually has powers. She just thinks like her normal, the standard abilities are enhanced. Like she's got a little bit better eyesight, she's a little bit faster, her reflexes are better, but nothing like a godlike ability among the other ones. She eventually discovers that the her power is actually in her blood and she is a full chthonic. So what that kind of means is their version of power and like the way their magic works, they hurt themselves to cause other harm. Her blood will literally like kill an immortal in this book. It is insane. And she has no idea it's her because she has this childhood invisible snake, Nyx, that she has with her at all times that nobody else can see but her. And she kind of helps her throughout all this. Like she's extremely venomous, but the fact that she can kill gods is why she stays hidden. But Alexis doesn't even know anything about her little friend that she carries with her. You don't learn actually a whole lot about her till book 2, and it is amazing. Nyx is incredible as a little pet, and I think they're called an Encadia. I'm not even sure how to pronounce it, but they have their own name, and it's weird. And all throughout this crucible, she is trying to fight titans to prove that she's worthy to be accepted by the Olympians and become an immortal, because you don't get that till you're 20 and you've got to prove yourself worthy. You only get that if you survive this. Like, this is your test of character. Now, she does survive this, but during this whole process, there's like these consistencies that keep happening anytime people are around. And it just so happens that somebody puts it together that her blood is what is causing these people to die. And it's as soon as they touch her, if she feels panic and pain, it immediately like goes to them. With there now being a inflicted marriage law, the two professors, Karen and Augustus, who attend the Spartan War College with Alexis and all of the initiates that attend the Crucible. This is like their academics when they're not in physical combat training for the Crucible. When they are there, they have classes. I don't remember what these people teach, but that wasn't exactly important. You meet Augustus, and Augustus is the buddy with his pet protector, the rabid raccoon Paco. Yeah, Paco. They are like bound to each other, and once you prove yourself worthy, every Olympian they get a chance to pick like their own bond beast. Um, Karen has two hellhounds, and he is the other professor, which is the hunter and the escort of death, basically. That man is insane, and he does not hold back in this book. But when I tell you the yearning and the obsession this man has for our Alexis, oh, it was great. He did phenomenal with proving how just unhinged he truly is. And he don't care. I mean, he is basically in control of death. He watches over her as she sleeps. She still didn't put together that that's who it is watching her is Karen as she's like trying to heal from severe injuries while training. But with the marriage law, they only have a limited time because both Augustus and Karen are 25, about to turn 26. Sadly, they completely manipulate and like coerce Alexis into marriage without her knowledge or any want. Like, she didn't have any idea of what like the Spartan customs are of a proposal. So they kind of like tricked her there. I mean, that wasn't really cool of them. They could have at least told her what they were doing, but they gave her diamonds and a hoodie, and she wore the hoodie, and that immediately meant that she accepted the proposal of both of them. And in the end of this book, it leaves off where she just married both of them, and they figured out that she is a purebred chthonic from the house of Hades, and Hades and Persephone is her actual biological parents.
Dun
The
dun
way they
dun.
kind of, yeah, it's with the wide shoes kind of part of this. They didn't top on it very much with the first one, but Petro, Achilles, Augustus, and Karen are supposed to be all the love interest, but it highlights that more a lot later on. So it's not really important at this moment.
But what if we want it to be important?
Yeah,
It
like
can be important. I mean, the most important thing is you just need to be introduced to like their spirit animals because you will love Paco. Paco thinks he can braid. He don't know how to braid. He makes knots and he is so
that
proud
was
of
so
them.
adorable.
It was so cute because like she's not saying that out loud. She's just thinking it to herself. And at this whole time, you have watched this raccoon like spaz. It just wants cookies. It's biting things. It has no special powers or ability. It can't fight.
Wait a second.
It's lazy.
Did they get the idea of for this raccoon off of Pocahontas with Miko?
That's what I was thinking.
It
Is
does give.
Paco Miko's
It does
spirit
give.
animal,
Yeah,
or did they
you
steal
definitely get
it?
those vibes.
Does she
Yes.
have a hummingbird?
No, she's just got this Fluffy Junior, which it starts out as this
Fluffy
really like
Junior.
it's like this really messed up beast. They don't really know what it is. They said it kind of looks like a dog if it was hit by a car and it shouldn't exist.
Wait, is that
But
the big white wolf-looking
yes,
thing that's in the photo?
yes, but in the whole first book, it hasn't grown a whole lot. So it's just
Aw.
this weird blob of fur that's fighting for her. That's the only beast that would like bond with her
Looking
after
at the
she survived the crucible.
looking at the collage, all I can think of, so Paco is on top of the dog or wolf or whatever.
Yeah,
And
eating a
all I can
cookie.
think of is, yeah, oh my goodness, he is
Yes,
eating a cookie.
Yes.
yes.
All
And
I
now
can
listen,
think of is him, like Paco riding this wolf,
they do.
just
They go with Alexis.
and
They
all of a
leave.
sudden, like he
Both
loves
of their
cookies so
actual
much.
people, they're like, I'm out. We're going with Alexis. Where she goes, we go. And she finds nothing but trouble everywhere she goes. So they're like, we chose wrong. This is a bad idea.
Cat.
And then who has the tiger? Because in the collage,
There's a tiger.
The
there's a
tiger
tiger.
is, oh, what the heck is his name again? I got that. My God.
He also had a Black Panther in an image I saw.
Wait, oh, Petro and Achilles. One of them has a black tiger and one of them has a panther. A black panther and a tiger.
So
Yeah.
those must be the cats behind
Yeah,
Alexa on
they
the
all
very
have
top.
like their own spirit beast, but Karen's his beasts are hellhounds, and technically his are invisible. And if you're only able to see him if you share some sort of bond to him in some type of way.
So they
So,
really took like the hellhounds of hell,
yeah.
but
Yes,
transferred him to be like the guard of death.
yes, and she becomes like so powerful as she's like fighting and trying to get through it. She fights two titans by herself when her mentors abandon her when they encounter titans that where was I going with that? Hold on a second. I just totally
We
lost
don't
what I was
know. We're
saying.
learning about this from
We
you.
haven't read this
Oh
book
no,
yet.
she is so powerful that like the things that happened to her, like physically injury wise, she shouldn't have lived. She was almost shredded by a titan through her back, and she wasn't able to regenerate fast enough to kind of heal. And she still lived through it, and that was before they knew that she was like a pure chthonic. She just dove headfirst with a knife at these titans, and she is not afraid of death, not one bit, but they end up calling her like the Angel of Rome, I think is what they call her, or something like that, or the Angel of Sparta. And she wins like all the favor of the people because she's genuinely trying to protect the humans at all costs. She is sacrificing herself basically at all chances to come between the Titans and people.
So they stuck to that concept of Hercules, but hers is
Yes.
an actual cause of like helping, not like Hercules did, where he was just like, I mean, I'm good, I helped, and all this stuff. It's like, yeah, for a selfish cause.
Yes. And like I guess people say the book's like a little bit spicier than what I would consider. To me, this is like a .07. Like this is like maybe a 1. And it's just because at the very end of the book, after she is tricked into getting married, a couple more powers are actually revealed when it comes to Achilles and I mean when it comes to Augustus and Karen, and it's quite intense the way they portray it because he can like what he feels he can kind of portray and make you feel incensed at the same time, but he can intensify it tenfold. And he can do that with pain or pleasure. But that's like the only kind of spicy scene in the book, and it only goes to like second base. So I don't know what they were talking about here. I might have just been in the trenches way too long, and it could be a lot more different
It-
for
that
everybody
that could be
else.
true. They could have been like, "Oh, this looks good," and only gone to like something contemporary, or they probably have not read Feathers So Vicious or Crown Me Dead
Right.
or Hunting Adeline or something.
I think that kind of covers it for the most part. Because it's all about kind of discovering who she is, where she came from, and surviving and overcoming her trauma that she has went through her whole life. Because she's been on her own. She came from like foster care. She was never accepted. She was outcasted in school. She was just thrown into this like battle to the death. Hope you survive, and hey, once you do, you can then spend the rest of your life still fighting titans, but you get to be immortal, so it's going to be eternally. And it's kind of one of those situations. But I love the twist that they put on it, and I love the grim darkness and the like the little twist in breadcrumbs that she did kind of leave in it. Because when you first open the book, like it tells you of that prophecy, and from that point on, you can kind of been like, well, yeah, this is clearly going to be the main character, so to speak. Even though you do know what's coming, you don't at the same time with it. So I definitely recommend this book. It's not something I would go into without maybe just doing a little bit of Google just so you understand like the mythology. Because if you're going in thinking this is going to be like an accurate account, you're going to hate it. It does not follow that, so just don't expect that.
Okay, so looking at your quote image there, what are two of your top favorite quotes from the book?
Out of those two,
It doesn't have to be those, but like what
I was gonna say
are.
because those two were kind of my favorites out of the book, but she has a moment where she's kind of fighting for her life, and it's more of like an inner dialogue that leaked out, and she looks over to Augustus, and she's like speaking whale because she is high on Spartan drugs because she just tried to leap with her leg severely injured, and it like exploded her limbs.
Okay.
So
Oh my.
So it
Okay.
was like a straight up Dory moment from Finding Nemo, and I felt that in my soul.
Okay. All right.
So instead of just keep swimming, it was just keep killing.
It was he didn't appreciate my whale noises.
Okay. So we're gonna wrap up Lynn's book, and Kat and I are gonna do some rapid fire questions for her. You ready, Kat?
I am. All right, you ready, Linz?
Let's go.
Who needs anger management more than therapy?
Definitely, Karen.
All right, how many red flags are we collecting here?
All of them.
If I dropped Nesta Archeron into this book, who survives?
I think Alexis actually might take Nesta out on this one. And it's just because I know Nesta's gonna hit her in the face, but then she's gonna bleed, and her bleed is like where her power is, and that's what's gonna cause the damage.
It's because you don't like Nesta. Let's face it. That's the truth.
It is not. It is not. I know Nesta's not gonna take her shit, and she's gonna hit her, and Alexis's blood will be on her, and once her blood's on you, you're doomed.
Okay. Did you like the plot, or were you distracted by all those pretty men?
Yes. Oh,
Both. Both is good.
Both.
both of them.
That made me lose my spot. Who would absolutely ruin my life?
Oh, like love life, or mentally, physically, or just life. Like you're
All
gonna
the
die.
above.
All
All
the
the
above.
above. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm pretty sure that is gonna be Augustus because he's not what you think he is, but he's going to kill you. He has no patience.
Okay. Most unhinged character.
Alexis, she is. I think she's more unhinged than all of them in this book. I do not care.
Would you survive this world?
Oh no, they got titans, and well, I mean, I guess humans kind of do survive as long as the titans don't come in their like safe zones. Like 50-50. I'm barely surviving real life. I can't imagine imagination land.
All I can think of is when we did Shadow So Cruel,
I have
and
the defense mechanism
it's
of a
this of a
puddle. I
puddle.
told that to my husband like when we first started dating, and it has stuck with me ever since.
Listen, and
Oh, it's so good.
there's Kat that knows how to read because I completely missed mine. Which character would absolutely get kicked out of our Discord first?
I'm pretty sure you're probably going to remove Augustus first. I don't. He kind of feels like a wet blanket sometimes throughout the book. Like the book. I don't know how to explain it. Like, yeah, he'll shelter you, but it's gonna be damp.
All
It's
right.
not gonna be all that.
Okay, so with that, we are moving on to Kat. Talk to us.
Okay, so I'm gonna fair warning our people that this book was not a usual cat discussion book. I have taken over as the newest person for reading dark romances. I have deep dived hardcore into them shadow daddies.
You
Just
went
like,
all in, and we are so proud of you.
Right, so proud of you.
and Wyatt is not a shadow daddy. He's not morally gray. He's not
Not one even
anything.
a daddy.
All right, so hit us with your trigger warnings first.
Okay, so the trigger warnings are emotional trauma, personal tragedy, romantic and sexual content. Just this didn't have like our normal triggers. It didn't have any consent, non-consensual, any of those. There's breakup and heartache, conflict, tension. The only trigger that I found was that there is an ectopic pregnancy. Um, that is like the anticlimactic part of the book that splits them up and also helps them get back together almost. But let's talk about Wyatt and Blake. So, first of all, when I was trying to create these collages, they kept trying to do male on male. And I was like, no, next to Blake's name, I literally had to put in parentheses female because like Blake Lively is a female. Like, how could ChatGPT not know this stuff? Anywho, so what we are doing today is we are diving into this book that follows Wyatt Graham and Blake Logan. They're children of two beloved off-campus couples. So this is the Breyer University book, and their parents are all best friends. They were on like the Breyer University hockey teams. There's kind of a Breyer University universe. It's not as big as, Rena Kent's. There's maybe like 7 or 8 books between the children and the parents to get to know everybody. And they are spending a life-changing summer at the Logan family lake house in Tahoe. Wyatt is a musician, but he has a writer's block. Like, he really is into that country style genre of music, and he has this writer block. He doesn't want to rely on his mom, who's a world famous songwriter. She doesn't like vocalize her own music, but she writes songs and has other people sing them, but she helps create the songs. So he doesn't want to rely on her. He wants to be very independent. He doesn't want to ride her coattails per se for fame, even though she's offered to help him. So he's going to Tahoe, but he doesn't tell anyone. He just shows up. And apparently this is his thing. He'll just show up somewhere and just be there and not tell the family. Well, Blake is coming off of a bad relationship. She found out her NFL football star boyfriend cheated on her with one of like the head cheerleaders. And this is the part that pissed me off, is this author made it a Patriots cheerleader. And I'm a Patriots fan, and I'm like, there ain't no way. There is no way you could have done this to me as a Patriots fan, to have the cheater be a Patriots cheerleader. Anywho, so she breaks up with him. They'd been going steady about 2 years. And she just needs to, this is before her senior year of college, and she just needs to reflect on who is Blake now. What does she want to do with her life? So her mom's like, well, take the summer, go to Tahoe, just focus on you, heal from this heartbreak, because she literally didn't even cry. Like, she has not grieved this relationship or anything. She just jumped right in to getting work done, finishing up school, and she hasn't let herself have that chance of sitting watching rom-coms, yelling at the TV, eating her weight in ice cream. We all know how great relief it is to get those emotions out of the way after having a breakup. She didn't do this. So she goes to Tahoe, and the prologue of the story is when she's 16. So she was 16 and he was 20. One Christmas, they had been downstairs, everybody else was sleeping. Her best friend is his younger sister, and that's how they're so close, besides their parents being like best friends. She decided she was going to try and make a move on him. Well, he thought he was too old for her, she being 16, him being 20. Can kind of see it, where she's not 18. And he's just trying to protect her, say, I'm too old for you. I don't think I'm good enough for you. So he rejects her, and she carries that this whole time, because 16, turning a point of your emotional being 16, and your first crush, like, just devastating you by telling you no, rejecting you. And then we fast forward 4 years, where she's 20, he's 24, 25 at this time, when they share the lake house in Tahoe. So it opens up with her going to Tahoe, like to the lake cabin, and she is walking through the house and everything. It all looks fine. She goes out on the deck, because it's a lake house, so Lake Tahoe's right out there. So she had gone down to the deck, and she heard this awful noise. So she thinks it's like this animal or whatever. Realizes it's a man who had been sleeping on one of the lawn chairs. And she's so scared, she hucks a beer can at him, and ends up hitting him in the forehead. So he tackles her, because he doesn't realize who she is yet, just knows someone's on his property, tackles her. They end up going into the water, where Lake Tahoe isn't quite warm enough, especially at night. And that's when they come up to the surface, and she's like, Wyatt, and he's like, Blake, what are you doing here? So they're talking, and that's how it starts. She's like, you can't stay here, I'm staying here. So at this point, she hates him, right? Because like I said, he rejected her when she was 16. That precious 16-year-old mind is over here like, I don't like you, you're cruel. And it's not that he's cruel, he's misunderstood. He's a musician. Musicians can be very dramatic, and we know how musicians can be. And so they're just like, fine, we'll just survive, but there's gonna be rules. And I didn't list what the rules were, but one of her rules is you can't go around shirtless. And I'm like, it's kind of a fair rule, because you obviously don't want to fall in love with him, but at the same time, I want him to be shirtless, because I want to read about the abs. Like,
I
to be
mean,
fair,
why put that on your readers to not be able to know the shirtlessness?
right? Like,
Come on
and
now.
exactly. And so they have the rules. And this book is POV of both Wyatt and Blake, and it's tastefully done. So it'll show her, it'll show him. It even shows the dads because there's like group chats. So the dads have a dad chat, each family has their own chat, and you get to read these chats. And so we're just going through this summer romance. And it starts out as a friendship, you know, getting back to being friends, to, well, we'll just make this a summer fling. And I was like, well, we all know how this is going to go. It's not going to turn to a summer fling. Whenever has a summer fling stayed a summer fling?
You're not wrong.
So we go through of their day-to-day life and how it becomes like her realizing why it's not how he has portrayed himself. Like she basically wants to fix him, but in the right way. She wants him to get out of his own head, and she wants him to realize that he's stopping himself with this writer block to continue to become a bigger name for himself. And he absolutely refuses to do those pop songs that are really like catchy and easy for you to get views and concerts and sell.
No K-pop Demon Hunters?
No K-pop Demon Hunters.
Ah,
Like one of
he doesn't want to be golden.
They
He
are
does
banned
know.
in this house. We don't do K-pop Demon Hunters either. No, nope.
Ah,
Yeah. My 7-year-old will be singing that at the top of his lungs, and he has not developed his, you know, he's 7. So he can hit those high notes better than some sopranos, let me tell
I
you.
thought
my
they should
36-year-old
be able to
self
sing
would
at that
belt
age.
those. So
So we go to oh, I lost my chain of thought. Hold on.
You're welcome.
On.
Happens to all of us.
happens to the best of us.
So this is like, when I say this on a spicy level was probably a 1, it's not because there wasn't any sexual scenes. It's because there was no choking her, no anything. It was just
Vanilla.
romance making love style. It was no, you've been a brat, I'm going to throw you over the chair, or anything that we typically read. So I started reading this as a palate cleanser, for we had been reading a lot of dark and heavy traumatic books. So I just needed, I don't want to say a pick me up because I don't really get down on those books, but just something that could cut through. And this was it. It was quirky and contemporary, and it just focused on the love romance. The plot twist to this is that they go on a ghost hunt.
Ooh.
They meet almost like these two men, both named Spencer. They're romantic, they're husband and husband.
Well, that's
Now
easy to
they're,
keep track of.
All right,
so
Spencer, go see Spencer. Which one?
and one Spencer took the other Spencer's name, so they're really like Spencer.
They both have the same name?
Yes, they even have the same middle
Gosh.
name. So they had the same first and
That's not
middle
creepy
name,
at all.
No. No.
and then they got married, and we are like, yeah, I really liked his name. Spencer one's like the
Spencer
quirky one. He's the one that Blake really like. He is the hey guys, and laughs, and that type of gay guy, the quirky one. The other Spencer 2 is more like the one that has to pull him back in, reel him back in. He's like, yo, chill, you're scaring the couple over here. But there's this, the summer is also spent, so Blake is supposed to be focusing on finding herself, but instead she does this research to find out this who this ghost is. She's called the ghost of Lake Tahoe because she drowned, supposedly drowned. And Blake latches onto this idea like she's stalking the librarians, and is like, and the town hall like supervisor, to get these records for this one lady, because this was a romance apparently of, she was in love with a guy and they were gonna run away, and then he apparently hooked up with her sister. But we'll get to it's a whole love triangle. Like, this thing was like love triangles among love triangles in this book. So between Blake researching this ghost story, she's also finding out about, Wyatt and things like that. And she just, like I said, she's coming off a painful breakup, arrives into Tahoe, determined to focus on herself. Wyatt gets in the way because now he's showing her his true side. He's charming, funny, incredibly protective in a way that it's not in like that morally gray way. It's in that I'm not good enough for you. I don't want to hurt you. I'm too old for you, too weathered almost. I'm like, bro, you're 25. It can't be that bad. You haven't even had like bad hip and back problems. You're good. But he's so conflicted about himself in terms of he's convinced himself he's wrong for her. Like, he's always had those feelings, but he's always been that protective of her, like she was too young. And he's constantly, you can see the constant battle of some of their cousins and friend groups come up, because like I said, the all the dads were on the hockey team for Briar University. They all go to university, they all, besides Wyatt. So her friends group come up and they're having parties, and she she's just trying to live her life. She's 20 and she's just trying to have a good time, get out of that painful breakup. And she's also just now trying to fight that attraction for Wyatt. And she starts seeing his sensitive side of realizing that Wyatt is in Wyatt's own head. And she is now bound and determined to fix him. So we get further into the summer where they are starting to develop the relationship. Their rules have kind of gone out the window, so we actually get to read his abs description, and she describes him because he's out on the lake, swimming and doing those body workouts, glistening in the sun, all that all that good stuff. And what he realizes is he starts realizing she's worth it. He actually is the one that starts falling for her first. He actually says, like, I love you first, when they start really developing these feelings. And one of the scenes is they go to one of the islands on Lake Tahoe where there is a lighthouse. And that is the turning point of where the summer fling kind of goes away and the deeper relationship comes forth, because they get stuck at the lighthouse because they took the boat, and they get stuck at the lighthouse where they obviously can't go back to the lake house. They're in a thunderstorm, like a really bad thunderstorm, so they can't drive the boat back. And hold on. There's a spider crawling on my wall. Oh, that's distracting.
Oh no. Wait, is Myth home? Myth?
No, he's at
The
work.
spider. Cat needs a broom.
Yell at it.
Is it big?
Assert dominance.
Yeah.
Throw a shoe at
It
it.
just went somewhere.
Nope, I would be gone from that computer desk. Right, like, I'd be gone. Nope. Nope. I don't know if you guys remember my 7-year-old screaming about the ladybug. The one episode. But she was screaming bloody murder, and that's how I would be if there was a spider.
I recall this.
Yeah.
Anywho, I'll
Yeah.
keep an eye on it. I'm like slightly terrified now.
We
So
see
back
her
to
vanish. We know what happened now.
Well, we need bug patrol. Go to Cat's house, please.
Climb back up. As long as
Calling
it stays over
bug patrol.
there.
Well,
I can ignore it.
Maybe it just wants to hear about your spicy, spicy web of love.
It's not
It's
spicy.
not spicy. Then show us the web of love. The web of love.
It's not, guys, it's not even like Chipotle mayo. Okay? It's like lime mayo.
Okay.
Cilantro mayo.
So
Okay.
it tastes like soap?
Yes.
Oh, you have that gene too?
Yes.
Me
No,
too.
I was just
Yes.
kind of thinking like it.
Yes.
I think I don't use it
So-
much. I can't really tell you what it actually tastes like.
Soap.
So at the lighthouse, they're like, this is when he starts opening up about how he feels, of how he doesn't want his mom to. Hold on. Okay, nope, I can't do this. Hold on.
I almost need to see the spider to witness this.
The spider's now stuck in my keyboard after I killed it.
I don't mean to laugh at that, but
This is
I
great.
do. I do. It's great. This is gonna be an
This is gonna
amazing
be
clip.
one clip. Oh, I gotta grab a napkin. Hold on. I must
I
disappear
guess we
for
should
one
have
moment.
included the spider as like a surprise guest appearance.
Yes. And tonight, for our After Dark episode, Kat has brought a special 8-legged guest with her. Does it have a name like Paco 2?
The spider. Don't worry. I got it. It was stuck in my shoe, and then it fell into my keyboard. But I knew it was dead because it didn't twitch. So we're good.
It didn't twitch. Dead because it didn't twitch.
It died because it didn't twitch. It was all curled up. Now it's gone. Ugh. Ugh. Now I forgot where I was again. Oh, the lighthouse. That's right. This is gonna be a great review. So they're having this discussion, and this is their first like actual romantic scene, and I was kind of disturbed by it because I was like, it's a dusty floor, and like you don't have lights. The only good thing was that it was in a thunderstorm, I guess, so you could really feel that boom boom pow when it got when the scene kind of crescendoed, I guess, is what I'll use since he's a musician.
Let me add clip boom boom pow for later. Thanks. Right there, that moment. Let's clip it. Got it.
I'm glad I can, since I missed the clips all the last stream, I can give you all the clips this stream.
I mean, you were
I didn't
there.
know we were supposed to be making any.
So, since we just went way off track on this, I will say that she realizes, you know, their sexual encounters she realizes that she's missed her period.
Oh
And this is a
no.
This is a trope that I feel like is overdone sometimes. But she tells him, and then he's right there with her. He's like, what are we gonna do? Like, we don't have to think of anything right now. We'll just let our minds absorb the fact that you are pregnant, and we'll just take like a week or two to just get used to that, and we'll just to get used to the fact that we're gonna be young parents, or just to think of our options, things, you know, kind of take that breather. Well, she ends up feeling sick and goes to the hospital where they realize that she has an ectopic pregnancy. So they had to, you know, she lost the baby basically because that's not a viable pregnancy. And one of the most heartfelt things is she pushes him away because she's angry and she's sad, and he's her comfort person now after spending the summer of just them two talking and growing together, and she pushes him away. Well, he's trying to be there for her. Like, she ended up being in a coma for 2 days because of how much her body had been affected by this pregnancy not being viable and being ectopic, which can be very serious for a woman. And he tries to be there for her at the best she'll allow him. And one of the things that stuck with me is his mom's talking to him. And he had finally told her he'd realized by his like sister saying something to him that he had been basically a douche to his mom. Like he would always snap at her when she tried to offer his help. Now remember, his mom is a successful music writer, so she writes the songs. She'll help produce the songs in like the music studio, but she's never actually sung them. So he writes his own songs, sings them, performs them, all of that. And so he was having a conversation with her of like, hey mom, are you I'm sorry I was a douche to you. And this is where his emotional growth starts happening, of him getting out of his head and realizing it's okay for his mom to help him in terms of, giving his phone number to a record label that wants to create music with him. But that's all she does. She doesn't like push her son's character on this record label. She's going to make him do the work. And at the end of that conversation, he was opening up about how he feels about Blake. And one of those like moments, I literally cried. And of course, I read this book late at night when I should have been sleeping. Like, I seem to finish all of my books. And I teared up a little bit because he's like, I understand she lost a baby, but why can nobody understand that I did too? And that broke me because it's like nobody was showing him sympathy. Like they'd already decided they were going to keep the baby, and like they were going to make this work before they realized that they don't have a baby anymore. And just hearing him say, I'm grieving too, I lost a child too, was just so heartbreaking, because I know I felt sympathy as a mom and as a woman to her, but to hear him put that into words and perspective of, he also lost a child, was just like, I just wanted to go into the book and just hold him and just tell him it would be okay and just to breathe. And that's something that Elle Kennedy did, is she made him be emotionally, like have that emotional growth, where most of the books we've read, it's like, I have to protect her, I have to be tough. And he's over here like, I'm super sad because I also lost a child. What else do we have? And like, what Elle Kennedy does is she creates the plot through like deep conversations. It's not always hopping into bed and having sex. She really made it about the conversations, the quiet moments, the late night vulnerability, because a lot of their talking happened at night, on like out on the lake or the deck or whatever, and it was just them talking and opening up. So yeah, that's my review after the spider incident.
Your book sounds very sad.
It kind of
It
does. Did it,
is.
like, emotionally assault you, though?
Look at you with your rapid fire questions.
Well,
Right, because I have it pulled up. I'm
I
prepared
love
this
you
time.
for that. Oh my gosh.
it did, because like it wasn't like they've never had like a traumatic childhood like most of ours did. It was a different emotional like devastation of them being like, I could see that they could have made it when she was 16 and he was 20, but they needed to grow as people, and he needed to be at this point in his life of like being stuck, and she need to come in and like help him.
Okay, so how many tissues are required?
It depends on if you read it at night. I would say less than like Crown Me Dead was.
That's fair.
I went through quite a few tissues with Crown Me Dead. There weren't like a lot, there were more funny moments than sad moments. So if you want to count the funny moments, probably quite a few.
So did you cry because it was sad or because it was beautiful?
Both. It was a beautifully written love story that also had the funny like ghost story attached to it that I was just as excited as Blake to debunk to see if there was an actual ghost on Lake Tahoe.
Okay. What song immediately reminds you of this book?
Oh my god, I don't know. Why did I get that question?
Because that's what it came up
Um,
with. Rapid
kinda
fire!
rude.
Go, go, go! You
I
can
don't
say
know.
you can say burnt pass if you need to.
Okay, then that's a pass because I didn't scroll through emotionally devastating songs
If you
to
had to give it
pick.
a song, which one would you give it outside of a Taylor Swift one? It could be any.
Yeah, I didn't like that question.
Ugh. I don't know. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, you know what would probably be good is like Eternity might be good for this, even though she technically isn't dead and it's about his dad. But just reading, like listening to Eternity and hearing, like listening to Wyatt sing it, I think would be beautiful.
I
Okay.
don't know why I jumped to that one. I only skipped about 6 in the process.
It is fine. It's fine. I didn't want to ask that one anyways because I'm not a Swiftie.
No, I'm just
Sorry.
sitting here like, what if I don't know the title to any?
Who broke your
Pick a different one.
Shh. Who broke your heart?
Wyatt.
Did you scream?
Yeah.
I'm not sure for what reason or why you're screaming, but did you scream for any reason?
I screamed in laughter because the Spencer duo was just so funny. Like if I know I didn't explain it properly, I'm sorry. That spider was kind of big and really scared me. But like I beg you, if you want a palate cleanser to read this book, just to read about like Blake, Wyatt, and the Spencer duo, going to find this ghost.
Okay. What chapter ruined your life?
I would say the chapter where you saw the very sensitive side of Wyatt after Blake kind of pushed him away. Cause he seemed so sad and like he wanted to be
So
there. He
sad.
didn't like take it as being angry at her. He was like, I love her, mom, and I want to be there for her, and she keeps pushing me away. And it was him going after her versus it always being the girl trying to fix everything and and go after the guy.
All right. There are your rapid fire questions.
Oh,
and
thank God you didn't make me do the Taylor Swift song. Thank
No,
God.
that's why I'm like, wait a minute. Like
She's
my
like,
brain
wait, I
just
skipped
merged
like
one
6 of
question
them.
that
It's
they
fine.
broke into 2.
It's
It just
fine.
literally were great.
Okay, my turn. My turn. My book is completely different from everybody else's. So, oh man, I put both. It's. Oh wait, hold on. My graphics are. It's fine. Okay. Okay. Trigger warning time. I am doing Crown Me Dead by Liv Xander. Liv Xander, we all know that her books are full of trigger warnings from the moment you read the title. So,
Oh yes.
we have graphic violence and gore. So much gore. Graphic murder. assault, body horror, as in gore, explicit sex scenes, mention of infant death, mention of cannibalism, and coercion. Just a few
Dun, dun,
trigger warnings, guys. Just a few. So, when I follow Liv on Instagram, and when I saw that she was teasing a book, I was super excited. But when she said she was teasing the book, it was because she was going through some stuff, like, herself. And so she came out with the Heartstring Duet. She released both books at the same time. They're short reads. They're less than 300 pages each. And they can be quick reads depending on how much of it you actually absorb and emotionally invest your time in it. These books are sad. These books are not really happy. But I'm only talking about the first one, and the first one is really gross. Guys, this is a kingdom of rot. We're talking maggots, pus, cutting off limbs because it's rot, coughing up blood, and more maggots and mucus and all sorts of... I started reading this book, and I was like, I just don't know. It just opens up... yeah, let's just get into it. Okay, so when we talk about romantasy, you know, we usually talk about, like, these beautiful kingdoms, dragons, magic, princesses and princes, an evil queen or king, you know, attractive men. We've all read those. But Liv took all of that and said, just kidding, I'm gonna twist it around. What if the kingdom was dying? Not politically, not financially, but physically rotting and decaying, falling apart from the inside out. And somehow she created one of the most unique fantasy worlds that I've read about. So we're going to talk about the Kingdom of Marrowbray. There's not really romance that is happening whenever you step into the kingdom. It's not like a backdrop, it's a character itself. The streets are crumbling, buildings are collapsing, disease is spreading. I mean, everybody's dying. It's gross. It smells. Citizens live under the shadow of death every single day. You can feel the hopelessness in her writing. You can feel the exhaustion that these people are feeling. Everyone is just simply trying to survive another day. The atmosphere creates a constant tension throughout the story because nobody feels safe. At any moment, you or a loved one are going to wake up and this rot is going to start spreading on your body. And when it does, you know that it's only a matter of days. Nobody's safe, nobody's secure, and everything is deteriorating. So the book opens up with this family. It's the Gravekeeper's family. It's his wife, his daughter, and his son. And it automatically goes into the smell of death, the smell of decay, wondering how long this body has been laying there, talking about sewing the mouth shut, the smells that the body emanates, it's gross. It's just gross. All I can say.
That's
Don't
pretty
forget the
persistent
eyeballs.
through any of her books, though.
They scoop the eyeballs out with spoons.
Yes.
At least they use spoons. They didn't use their bare hands.
But they explain, she says that her brother is the best at eyes and takes it underneath the eyelids and with the spoon and... Anyways, let's talk about our FMC. I don't usually like FMCs. Like, I do, but they're not, like, exciting. They're, like, I don't know, put as, they're weak. That's what I'm trying to say. They're always weak. They have to build up this strength, blah, blah, blah. Alara's not like that. She is not she's not the chosen one. She's not secretly a princess. There's a kingdom, but guys, she's not secretly a princess. She's not the strongest person in the room. She's a survivor. She's practical. She is so stubborn. And she's willing to sacrifice herself for the people she loves. At the beginning of her story, her entire motivation revolves around saving her brother. That's it. Her dad already has the rot. He's slowly dying, and her brother has started. He's already lost some fingers. They cut off the fingers or the limbs to keep the rot from spreading even further. Unfortunately, they can cut off whatever they want. It doesn't stop it from spreading. You can cut off someone's hand to try to stop it, but then the next day it's in their lungs. So she's not after glory. She's not after power. She's not after revenge. There's no one to get revenge on. She's just there for family. And that right there is different from most heroines in books. She's not driven by destiny. She's not driven by some, like, great love. Like MMC love. She's driven by familial, like, love. Did I say that right? Anyways.
Yeah.
English is hard sometimes. So on the way home from dealing with a little boy's dead parent figure, she's approached by a man who has this, he's very attractive, but he's very clean. Now, no one in the kingdom is clean. Everybody is dirty. Your clothes are tattered. You are limb and bone, because as a kingdom of rot, everything around you is dying. The animals are dying. The crops are dead. The soil doesn't grow anything. The food is moldy. So she's approached by this very handsome gentleman who basically tells her, you know, at like death, like how, like, comments about how she is around death. And so he comes to her again and he's like, I'm gonna make you a deal. Meet me behind your house graveyard area at dawn. Cool. So he comes to her with a deal. She has to marry the king to save her brother. If she marries the king, she can save her brother from death. She can break the curse, but she has to die in order for that to happen. And
Sacrifice.
And she does it. Like, she agrees to it. She makes the deal. It's super simple for her. She's like, I want to save my brother. You know, if I can marry the king, if I have to die to stop this curse to save my brother, then I'm going to do it 100%. I'm not even going to have any other thoughts about it. But why does she have to die? Like, immediately that deal feels a little off. Like, as a reader, I'm just thinking to myself, okay, why she gotta die? Like, you want her to marry the king? She's supposed to be the FMC. Why are we killing her? Like, what's going on? So the book's constantly asking you when you're reading it, what happens when desperation forces you to trust people you shouldn't? She doesn't know who this person is. He's coming at her looking all super clean and fancy and handsome with this name. His name's Vale. Who has the name Vale? How far would you go for someone you love, and at what point does sacrifice become self-destruction? So she moves into the castle, and she is told a few rules about meeting the king. She is not allowed to talk about how he looks. She can't stare him in the eye. She can't. There's a few things. I'm sure they're in here somewhere. But she basically, it's really weird. Don't compliment him. Things like that. Don't open the windows.
Don't pity him either.
Yeah.
Don't open the curtains. Like,
it's a whole thing. So we're gonna talk about King Kale. What I like about this is, okay, I was really confused, Kat. The one day you were like, "How do you guys pronounce his name?" I'm like, "Who?" And then I was like, "Wait a second."
I didn't even know what book you guys were
It's like-
asking. I just read it like the vegetable.
I was like, "Wait a second." I figured out what it was. I was like, "Duh, I just read it." And I can't even answer that question for you. But it's Kale, Kael. That's actually Nathaniel's middle name, and it's spelled the same way. And I didn't put two and two together. Guys, I apparently didn't pay attention very much whenever I was reading about him. But anyways, let's talk about this king, King Kale. He's introduced as a monster. People fear him, people avoid him, stories surround him. The kingdom blames him for the rot that they have throughout the kingdom, because the curse is connected to him. Everything points towards him being the problem. But the deeper you go into the story, the more complicated he becomes. He's tragic, he's lonely, he's misunderstood, he's broken in ways that go far beyond the physical, and honestly, some of the most emotional moments in the book involve realizing how much of his life have been shaped by fear and isolation. So, backstory, the kingdom is under a curse. Centuries ago, the king made a deal with death, the god death, to prosper and to basically have eternal life. In order to do that, you have to feed the crown. You hear feed the crown a lot in the book. In order to feed so Death took one of his heartstrings from his chest and wove it into the crown that sits on. Yes.
Does this have any correlation or intertwines to the Pale Court?
No.
Okay. It's just got a few similarities.
No.
And I just wondered if it was like an origin point of something that would kind of appear also in that series.
It's like a
Just
mushroom.
curious. Do tell.
Yeah, I
Pardon my
don't know. I
interruption.
haven't read it, but I'm pretty sure it's not. Because according to her website, it wasn't. But
I haven't seen anything blink. That's why I was like, well, maybe if you've read it, that's.
Yeah,
I
no.
didn't know if you came across anything. But thank you for answering that.
You're welcome. So Death takes a heartstring out of his chest, weaves it into this crown, and the king has to wear it on his head. The crown will basically stitch together his body, keep him alive. He can't die, but he also can't take off the crown. So the king has to sacrifice. King has to fall in love with the queen and coronate her. Coronating her means at some point he's got to put the crown on her head, slit her throat, she dies, that feeds the crown. So they have to sacrifice their love to feed the crown.
Well, dang.
Yes. So,
Well, maybe that first king shouldn't have killed Death's friend.
it's fine. We're not there. So, we're going to talk about Vale, because we're introducing characters. We're going to talk about Vale. He's fascinating. He's so fancy in his shiny boots and his prettiness.
His satin clothes or silk clothes.
It's just, every action with him creates uncertainty. Why are you here? Who are you really? He introduces himself as the half-brother of King Kale. He recruits Alara. He presents the bargain, and he is the only one who seems to know more than everyone else. And the problem is that trust becomes impossible with him because he won't give you any information. Every time he appears, you're questioning why. You're questioning what his intentions are. You're questioning everything about him. And Liv does an incredible job of keeping readers suspicious with him. I honestly did not figure out the plot twist until close to the end of the book. It was a whole thing. So there's a theme in the book. Nothing is what it appears to be. The king isn't what people think. The king is actually just, he doesn't want to sacrifice anyone. He doesn't want to fall in love with anyone. He doesn't want to have to kill. He wants to find a different way to break the curse. The curse isn't what people think. The kingdom isn't what people think. Even the relationship between characters are far more complicated than they first appear. The story constantly challenges assumptions. Every major revelation forces you to reevaluate information you've already accepted as truth, and that's why the mystery works so well. So we're going to talk a little bit about this rot that we have. The body horror that I was telling you about, it's gross. It's gross. And I say that lovingly, but it's really gross. It's not just mentioned, it's described. The decay is symbolic, so it has to be in there. You have to have the grotesqueness in order to completely understand the emotion behind this book and to help build the bigger picture. It's physical, it's visible, it's present. The book makes you want to feel uncomfortable. Liv makes you want to feel the sickness of the kingdom, which you do. First chapter of that book, you kind of want to vomit as you're reading it. She wants you to experience the horror alongside the characters. For some readers, that's going to be too much. For others, sure, it's going to make the story memorable. Honestly, the body horror was essential. I really think you needed the body horror in order to completely understand this curse, this pestilence, why it's called the Kingdom of Rot, why the stakes have to be as high as they are. There's a part where Alara meets King Kale for the first time. She walks into the room and she immediately doesn't see him, but then she sees a shadowy figure sitting in a chair across the room. When she sees him, she describes him as something out of a horror story. His eyes are white and milky. He has the hair around the crown is like, it's sore, but it looks new, like it's sewn itself together multiple times. He's full of pustules, boils. He smells. There's ooze. His body looks like it's been slashed and stitched back together multiple times. This man really doesn't want her there. He knows that she's there for a reason, and he doesn't want help. He doesn't want to fall in love. He doesn't want to have to sacrifice someone. He takes a dagger and slices open one of his pustules in front of her. It's really gross. He spits at her and spits maggots at her, and she runs out with maggots on her face, wiping maggots off of her face. It's gross. It's gross. Just want to put that out there. It's gross. But yeah, so romance. The romance works because it develops in a world where hope is almost non-existent. The romance is beautiful. It's a beautiful part of the grotesqueness. When everything is dying, every small moment of connection seems more meaningful. Every act of kindness matters more. Every moment of trust matters more. Every emotional bond feels harder earned. The romance isn't built on perfection. It's built on understanding vulnerability and on seeing someone at their absolute worst and choosing them anyway. So you learn about why Kale is so vicious. You learn that his mom was sacrificed. He saw her being sacrificed. No one wants to see their loved ones have their throat slit. Like, period. It's just not cool. Sacrifice. So we're going to talk about that. The entire story revolves around the sacrifice, what you're willing to give up for a family, for love, for duty, survival. Alara believes that from the beginning that her life is expendable. She's ready to sacrifice herself. That mindset influences every decision she makes throughout the book. It's heartbreaking because she measures her value by what she's willing to lose. She's constantly trying to get Kale to fall in love with her so that way she can have him sacrifice her because she wants to save her brother. She wants to save the kingdom. And that's how she knows that she has to do it because that's what Vale has taught her. So we become obsessed. I posted a review on my TikTok about the Heartstring Duet, and it got like 522 views. Whoop, go me.
Nice.
Go
Right?
you.
Right? A lot of comments and stuff. Thank you for your dumplings. Appreciate it. But it's a different type of romantasy. It's different from the Crows book, from the Court of Ravens. Not Crows. The Court of Ravens. The dark romance isn't really there, but it's there at the same time. It's just not as intense. The death is more intense than the romance is. But this book has
That is
rotting.
the one thing it does have in common with the Pale Court. It's got a lot of gore, a lot of death, and a lot of rot. But that's kind of pretty common for Liv at this point. I think that's kind of almost a required part of her books. It
Yeah.
wouldn't be
Yeah.
a Liv Zander book without it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. But unlike other romantasy books, it has rotting flesh and crumbling castles. The atmosphere is unforgettable. She paints a beautiful picture whenever they are in the carriage coming to the castle. When she's in the carriage with Vale coming to the castle, and she's talking about the views that she sees, the dead fields, a woman running out of her house in tattered clothing, no shoes on, just running after the carriage, trying to find something to eat because she needs something to eat. It's not a book that you finish and immediately forget it. I actually went back in to look for character descriptions, and I was like, oh my gosh, I remember more from this book than most books that I read. I actually remember more from this book than from the 3 that I just read by Rena Kent. You remember the imagery, and then the emotional payoff. The characters suffer. We suffer with those characters. Everyone suffers. But at the end of the second book, the emotional investment is worth it, and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't ever want to read this book again, but I might, because it's sad, but it's beautiful at the same time. It's not a comfortable read. It's not meant to be. It's dark, it's ugly, it's heartbreaking, it's romantic, it's horrifying. And somehow all those things work together beautifully. I want to say that I'm going to talk spoilers, because why not? So the King Kale decides that he knows how to break the curse. In order to break the curse, he does in fact fall in love with Alara, and she starts healing him. He becomes beautiful again. He goes out to the garden and gets some fresh air and opens up to her about his childhood, things like that. And so he talks about death, meeting death, knowing what death looks like, and whatnot. Death is this towering god with bony fingers and missing flesh and whatnot. And so he talks about how he knows how to break the curse. In order to break the curse, he's like, we're getting married. So they get married, and Alara becomes his wife. And then he has her put the crown on, but he has her slit his throat. So you have this amazing story of getting to know this king, getting to understand his pain and how he wants to, break this curse more than anything, to save the kingdom, to save those people that he loves, and he ends up sacrificing himself. So then you have Alara, who becomes queen, and everything starts to fall into place with her. Because behind the scenes, she's slowly starting to fall in love with Vale. And we find out that Vale is actually Death. Just in his human form. And so at the end of the book, she's like, I'm going to marry you. I'm going to and then he's like, well, I'll wed you, I'll bed you, and I'll fuck you, and I'll kill you. Like, that's one of the biggest quotes in the book. Like, and they say it over and over and over again. And it's just, the way that it plays out is crazy. Like, crazy. But he says he'll never fall in love. Love is for mortals, but love is stupid. He won't love anyone. So he's always like, good luck with that. It's not going to happen. I'd like to see you try, but good luck with that. Eventually you're going to have to feed the crown. So then you go into book 2, and well, just read book 2. Like, read book 1, read book 2. It's fine. I'm not going to spoil book 2 for you, because book 2's heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching, takes your heart out and stomps on it and leaves you crying in the middle of the night. And then your husband looks at you and he's like, are you crying? And I look at him and I'm like, yes, I am. Leave me alone. Because that's exactly how it happened.
Mine didn't wake up and ask if I was crying when I finished book 2, though.
He was awake on his phone when I finished book 2, because I was not going to sleep until I finished it. He saw me crying, and that's exactly what happened. So it's pretty good, but I rate it like a 5 out of 5. Spice is probably book 1. The spice is probably 2 spicy mayos. You should not read this book if you don't like gore. You should not read this book if blood is not for you. You should not read this book if you can't handle grossness. Grossness. Like, that's all I got for you. I'm done.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how concerned should I be about the state of the personal hygiene in the kingdom? Do
100.
they have soap?
100. It does talk about her washing herself, but it's hard to even keep the water clean. You have to keep changing the bucket over and over again.
Did you ever stop and say, what the hell am I reading?
Yes, after the first page.
Would I need therapy after this book? I
Lynn's,
wouldn't go if
probably
I did,
not.
but I'm still gonna ask.
Lynn's, for you, probably not.
No.
Who's the bigger red flag?
Definitely Vale.
Is there a scene that lives in your head rent free?
Not from book 1.
Are you kidding me? I was gonna say the description of Kale when Alara first sees him.
Nope, not from book 1. I'd have to say a lot of the moments that stuck with me are in book 2.
Book 2, yeah. Did you trust anyone?
No, because I didn't even trust Alara at first. I thought for sure that there was going to be some sort of turnaround twist with her. And I mean, I guess technically there was.
Who suffers more, the reader or the characters?
The reader, because the characters aren't real.
How many emotional support snacks would I need?
Well, after the first 3 chapters,
It depends on if you can eat with gore. 'Cause
Yeah,
if you get
I was gonna say,
you might not want any snackies.
depends on if you can hold your vomit or not. Tissues, though, you'll need tissues more than you'll need snacks.
I mean, unless you're trying to play like a rogue, that sounds like something Liv Vander would write about there in her books to make one of her characters like eat their vomit. So, I mean, if you want to go for that, touche.
Alright, I'll do it. If this book had a smell, what would it be?
I forgot there was a last question. I'm sorry.
If this book had a smell, what would it be? It's not gonna be mold. It's gonna be like year-old vomit mixed with, I want to say, dead mouse smell, but a bear smells worse and so does a snake, so probably all the dead animal smells combined.
Like outside, like decayed on a
Yeah,
hot summer day.
gross.
All I could think about was like the smell of rotting live fishing bait that's been left out in the sun that you
No.
forgot about for like a day or two
Mm.
because
Oh,
it's
God.
dirt and death at the same time.
Yeah, listen. Oh my gosh. That happened when we went on a family vacation whenever I was a teenager.
You never forget that
to,
smell.
to
It is
Virginia
so-
Beach. We
you
left it
never
in the
forget it.
van. We left it in the van in the parking garage, and
Ugh,
so
how long did it take you to get the smell out of your car?
when it was a bit, but it was really gross. It was really gross. We opened up the van. We're like, oh my gosh, I can't do it. I'm gonna vomit. But this is probably worse than that. So
Gross. Just if you can get past the grossness, beautiful book. If you can't and you're queasy, well.
sorry.
Your lemon squeeze.
Sorry about your luck. Sorry about your luck.
I must say, so, like, I know I told you guys, but I'm going to tell over the podcast. So, I also read the duet. So, everything you said, 100%, I was just like, yep, girl, I completely understand. So, I was reading, I was telling Myth the plot, and as I'm explaining it, he's like, so she likes to give her characters maggots a lot, does she? I was like, well, in the Shadows So Cruel, the Court of Ravens, there wasn't a lot of talk of maggots.
There's a whole kingdom of flesh and rot and bone in her other duet too. Like it's a pretty like consistent trademark
And
of
is
her
it
at this
like
point.
it's like their bodies, like bones scattered all over the place around the kingdom in Flesh and Blood, right?
He has a throne made out of bones, but you also feed the throne. So that's why I tried to Google it, but I actually completely lost that train of thought mid process and stopped in the middle before I even hit enter. So I don't have that answer.
No, you're okay.
But I was trying to see if they were like interconnected somehow because there was like a lot of like the same things, and I just want to know if it started from somewhere and if there was like a character that was going to this and it was like before they died or after a curse was left from a different duet and it just kind of intertwined a little bit.
It might
But
be with the death aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's Death who the curse is. Like, he won't break the curse at all. He could break the curse, but he won't break the curse. So
in the kingdom of flesh and blood, he actually spreads a rot to his kingdom, and then he stops to quit feeding the god of death as like a fuck you, basically. And he quit and neglected his duties, basically.
that's
So that's why I was like, oh my goodness, it
That's
kind of
very
overlaps, and I
similar.
really
yeah,
like it.
it
But
is
I will
really
say
similar.
the Pale Court is not for that they're really dark. Her books are not someone that should just go in blind without at least a little research first to
And
see what's ahead of you before you do.
yeah, and she does actually, speaking of Liv Xander, only because we've done her books in the past and because I talked about hers right now, her website, she has every trigger warning listed for all of her books. She has a blip on what each book is about. And you can actually ask her questions. She has a special group that you can join. She also has a Facebook group that you can join, which I'm in, and she does interact with that as well.
She interacts on Instagram and TikTok.
Yes.
That's
She's
what I've seen.
Yeah, she's very good at interacting with her fan base. So if there is somebody that is interested in reading it, but you're kind of like on the cusp of, I don't know if it's for me, number one, then it's probably not a book you should read if you're questioning that. But you can ask her and she'll answer for you. So just keep that in mind for all authors, really. They all most of the time they offer something like that for their fans, or you can just ask if you're in a group or on TikTok or Instagram, and their fan base will come in and they'll let you know what their thoughts as well. So, hold on a second. Okay, so I am going to have Kat talk about our next episode that we're going to do. We do not have a date for it yet. However, we are going back to our group read. So,
yes.
We would like to offer all of our viewers the opportunity to read the book with us. And Kat will give you more information on that.
Do we have a picture of the... Heck yeah, there it is! Alright, so it's been a while since we've done a group book, and I was put under the pressure lovingly, I will say lovingly, to look through my Goodreads TBR to find our next book. And I kind of wanted to stick to, as our viewers know, we do have this theme of dark, dramatic, traumatic books. And so I was like, all right, going through, we tried to find one. The girls were telling me about it. I was like, I don't think in my dark romance, like I said, I'm still kind of baby compared to Lunar and Lynn's of reading this. And they were describing the book. I was like, that I'm not there yet. So I kept scrolling down, and I settled on, I was like, what about Direbound? So we've done, ravens, we've done demons, we've done, like, brought all this stuff. We have not touched on werewolves. And this could be partial because me and Myth are watching Teen Wolf, and I was just like, ooh.
Such a good show. Such a good show.
Oh my gosh, we're on season 3, so we just met like the alpha pack, the pure alpha pack. And so I was going through, and we found out that none of us have ever read this book. So I was like, all right, let's read it. And as you can see by this, it'll show you basically the themes of what Direbound is about. So it's a slow burn, touch her and die, which we love. Deadly Trials, which
That's
we
my
liked.
favorite.
Akatar, the Bonds or the Blood of Hercules had trials in it. Found Family, we like families, you know.
We like found families, Cat.
Yes. I couldn't remember the little quote that came with it. Enemies to lovers is like huge for us. Fated mates, morally gray characters. I mean, we just did an episode on Shadow Day, so we love morally gray characters. So I'm going to read the review. So Direbound, the blurb says, Marin Cooper has never dreamed of being one of the Bonded, the King Elite's warriors who form mental links with massive, vicious direwolves. Giving Game of Thrones here.
Right.
She's made peace with her life, scraping by in poverty in the shadows of the castle. But then her youngest sister, Sayla, is kidnapped, stolen across the border by the immortal monsters her country has spent centuries fighting. And Marin's world falls apart. Desperate to cross the front and save her sister, Marin enlists in the army only to discover that there are bonding trials this year, where all soldiers are forced to risk their lives in an attempt to connect with a direwolf. It's too late to turn back. Marin is thrown to the deadly competition against her will. Now she'll need to survive the next 4 months of training at the castle if she wants a chance to find her sister. Everything here is a test, from the brutal classes where one mistake means death to the glittering court parties where every smile hides a knife. Giving Hunger Games right there.
Mm-hmm.
To make things worse, Marin is bound to a feral direwolf who refuses to communicate. The other trainees would love to spill her common blood, and her gorgeous instructor, Stark Theroin, is as malicious as the wolves himself. Everyone is out to get her. Everyone but the dangerously handsome Crown Prince Killian Valteri. But if she loses her heart charm, she may also lose her life. And the castle is hiding dark secrets. And it says, Fourth Wing meets the Hunger Games in dark, action-packed fantasy series. Perfect for romantasy fans of A Court of Thorns and Roses, The Serpent and the Wings of Night, When the Moon Hatched in Quicksilver.
Sold.
Yeah.
100%.
Also,
This is
I like the trials. I can't remember the last time I read a book about a werewolf. Like, oh my gosh.
I'm actually in the middle of one right now. I'm like reading the Night Prince and the Cruel. Wait, what am I
The
reading?
Cruel
The
Prince.
Wolf King and the Night Prince.
Oh, yeah. I know, I think other than Seth in the Zodiac Academy books, I think the last actual werewolf book I read was Bride by Allie Hazelwood, and that's been a hot minute. So I'm excited for it. It's usually vampires and dragons and demons over here, and witches.
Yeah, and that's why I was so excited, because I was like I said, Myth and I have been watching Teen Wolf, and I was just like, we have not done a wolf, dire wolves, and it was giving, like, when I looked into it, it said, like, Fourth Wing meets the Hunger Games, and it's also giving, the arc I did, Bright Burns the Flames, it was giving that as well. Because of the trials and the one mistake causes death, and I was just like, oh, I'm here for this.
Yeah, I like that. I'm excited for it. I just need to finish reading the one that I'm reading now, so I can start it, because I don't like to end it. You also need to read Losers Part 2 before you read this one.
I
How are
know.
you gonna do that? Oh, anyways, we don't know when the next episode's gonna be. In all honesty, probably 2 weeks. Kat gets to take a fancy vacation to Boston and leave us
the end of July.
leave us
the
all,
end of
so it'll be
July.
before then. Before
Yes.
the end of July.
And we actually need to fit 2 podcasts in, because our Tempting Venom comes out June 30th. And we need to pick that book. But that could potentially be
Happening.
after Boston. So we can
Yeah.
have like a month
I know.
to read it.
I just saw a TikTok on Rena's page about it, and I'm just like, ugh. Oh, I can't wait.
You're probably
Oh,
gonna be so
no!
sick
I
of reading
can't
Rena
wait.
Camp by the time you get there, though.
No,
But
no.
it's gonna be
There's
so worth
no
it.
way. There's no way because the books are different. Like, they're different.
Yes,
Okay,
I love
thanks.
her.
But
She's
also,
great.
I need to do a shout out for Myth always commenting that he loves his wife so much. But also,
Look, I'm not looking as pale as Casper like I did
He
before.
should-
'Cause I'm blushing.
he should have been there with the spider. I'm not exactly sure.
Listen, that was the greatest.
He's gonna have to rewatch the stream for the spider part. He wasn't there to
He's
save your
gonna-
life.
He's gonna look at me after watching it and be like, "You did not communicate your book very well." And I'll be like, "Spider."
Spider, her attention was elsewhere, so she handled it much better than I would have. I would have been yelling.
Not when it came to being in my keyboard.
That's true. Yeah, we did talk about Cruel Prince. Cruel Prince is an actual book. Got a crown on the front of it.
I totally got the word
with, like,
wrong. I
thorns.
meant the Night Prince. Is that
Yeah,
what I meant?
that's what Sam was like. Sam was
Yeah.
like, did
I don't
someone
know
mention
because
Cruel
Rena
Prince?
Cat also has The Cruel King, which is a book I picked up. So like, we could have met all three.
It's possible. A fan made a series on YouTube. That's really cool, actually.
That is cool.
I'm saying that word a lot. My kids point that out to me all the time. There is a group of book talkers that are making a fan-made Akatar show.
That seems interesting.
You can catch blurbs on Stephen Walker's Instagram and TikTok because he does cosplay as Cassian all the time because
Is it
of
weird
his
that I
gorgeous
cannot
locks.
stand that man for some reason?
You know,
and
I used
don't know
to
what
really-
it is. Like what? Like it. There's something about him I just don't like.
I used to
It's
really
odd.
like him. And then there was something that I watched of his that made me cringe, and I was like, no, I can't do it anymore. I can't do it.
He feels
You're
soulless to me. Like
Such
there's
pretty
no
hair,
context to
Steven,
him.
but I don't know.
There's a guy on TikTok that plays Riddick from Fourth Wing so well. It's so funny.
I have to look that up. Okay. Anyways, let's skedaddle out of here. What am I doing?
Yes, I got to go.
Yeah, not yet. We have to say
I said
goodbye.
I got to. I'm not. We're good. I was just letting you know.
Okay.
Listen, it's Maryland. You know how we say goodbye. This is my like 5-minute warning that in like another 10 minutes I really do gotta go.
Yes. Okay. So, as always, check out our new TikTok page. We will be posting clips there. Obviously, this episode's going to have quite a few that we're going to want to post everywhere and make memes to and everything. It's going to be fantastic. There will be a spider created somewhere. I already have it planned. I also plan on having a picture of the wolf and Paco the raccoon riding into war because that's what I saw when Kat was like, can you just imagine Paco riding on top of the wolf eating a cookie? And I'm like, wait, going into battle being like,
Well, hold on.
In
He
the
holds
book is
up.
the thing. Like he goes with her to fight the two titans,
I
and
mean,
he's just chowing
so
down
the-
on a cookie.
It would be even better if he had like a half-eaten, like you know how they always show like the one bite out of the cookie and he raises it in hit the air as if to say charge, and then
Yes.
just casually goes back to eating his cookie as the wolf just runs in.
I just want to say, my brain went on all sorts
No,
of places.
you don't understand. They taught the raccoon finger gun, so he like goes pow pow.
It's like Rocket
And he
Raccoon.
apparently tries to braid in just one big ass knot.
Fine. It's
Listen,
fine.
You leave his attempts alone. At least he tries.
But we have our Discord, Head Removal Inc. That is where we are located at. Please feel free to join. We love conversation. We have a book club channel in there where we don't really keep up on it, but if somebody joins that wants to, please be our guest. We will comment. We will send memes. We will send recommendations. Our TBRs are constantly growing, and our husbands can't keep up with our book habit, but they love us anyways. Follow us on my Twitch and on Kat's Twitch. Those are the two platforms that we will be streaming on. I did this episode. Kat will do the next episode. Maybe for episode 10, we can do a tandem stream. If we ever figure that out. So, yeah. We love you all. We hope you have a fantastic evening. And we will see you on our next episode where we talk about Dire Bound. Please pick it up and read it with us. We would absolutely love some extra conversation.
Yes, and thank you for coming out with us to After Dark. Like we said, we're rebranding, so we talk about dark themes, so it seemed very fitting that be After Dark to have this podcast.
All right,
I'm just here for a good time.
I was gonna say, Lindsay, I'm officially gonna hit the end slide now.
Okay, thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Curl up, hit play, let the pages unwind. Spice on our tongues, all the trouble we find. We're kissing and killing in kingdoms we crave, falling for monsters we swear we'll never say. We're the Scribe of HRI, reading too late, but we're still gonna dive into blades